Governor Walker, welcome. Good to have you.
Hey, great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
It's been a long time since we talked, and obviously the lead story this afternoon is what's going on in Kiev. I'm wondering, as a governor, do you pay much attention to these sorts of stories, or is this above your pay grade and you don't?
No, I pay attention to what's going on around the world. It's increasingly been frustrated in a world that's filled with uncertainty that we're right now actually with our president. And a lot of what I saw under Ronald Reagan was he made it clear he meant what he said and was going to do it, and that our allies had great comfort, and that their adversaries think twice. And unfortunately, we don't have that in the world right now.
No, we got fiasco underway in Kiev. We had Leopoldo Lopez arrested in Venezuela yesterday, and the Middle Eastern turmoil. Now Hillary's legacy is she lost South America, she lost the Middle East, now she's losing Ukraine. Does she really seem like a presidential candidate to you?
No, it's pretty shocking. That was going to be her bread and butter. Between that and obviously the horrible tragedy of Benghazi, it's not much of a track record out there. But it goes not just to that position, it goes to the larger issue of the presidency. I was talking last year with George Shultz and asking him about Syria. It was interesting. He started telling me a story of how going into World War II, of course, he was a Marine in World War II, and he said his sergeant in boot camp told him that his firearm was going to be his best friend. He needed to sleep with it, eat with it. But the most important thing he should know is never to point it at anyone he wasn't prepared to shoot. And as much as that sounds like a good old war story from a World War II veteran, the reality is it's a great lesson for foreign policy that you need to show that if you're going to say something as a country, you got to mean it. And unfortunately, we don't have enough of it these days.
So, Governor Walker, obviously you have re-election to worry about, and you're focused on your campaign. There's a good economy and a recovery underway in Wisconsin. The Ronnie Earl of Wisconsin has laid down his weapons, has stopped trying to indict you on false charges. So everything looks good for you, but if you do decide to run for president, are you intimidated by the prospect of Hillary, who's got more frequent flyer miles than the airlines combined, standing across the stage and, dropping names in the places she's been against this record of failure after failure after failure?
I think the biggest problem that Secretary of State Clinton has is much bigger than just that. It's that she is, throughout her adult life, she has been a product of Washington, whether she's been there or worked there, Secretary of State, United States Senator, not only First Lady, but even back to her days working in the Hill. And I think Americans now more than ever have had it with the whole bunch in Washington, and they want somebody to come in. Actually, they want a group of people to come in and completely turn things around and reform things and put the power back in the hands of the hardworking people of this country. So I think for her connection, her longevity connected to Washington, more than anything, is going to be a huge liability for her.
Was she a failure as Secretary of State?
Well, I have a hard time pointing to many successes. I mean, you look at, as you mentioned, the problems around the world. I mean, she was good at flying around and traveling, but I have a hard time seeing any major victories for this country and for what it means across the world out there. And